Hi. Well, happy whatever day of the week it is when you're watching this. It's a Sunday for me. And I'm out here by the hideaway, one of our hideaways. And I'm here with both of these beautiful puppies. Sam is back there. He'll be coming. Yeah. And it's kind of a dark day, but most of you know how much I love rain, so I think the rain is coming again today, and I love storms. I love thunderstorms, and I am going to sit at this picnic table and talk with you a little bit. Oh my, well, here is my message for today. Hey, Charlotte. My message is about dreaming, okay? Not lucid dreams, not when we're asleep and all cozy in the middle of the night, but dreams that guide our lives and guide our goals and our planning and things that we hope to do in our lives. And as we know, sometimes the dreams don't exactly materialize the way we hope they will. But that's what I want to talk about. Because first of all, being a dreamer is a really good thing. You know, taking a risk, putting yourself out there. And I'm not talking about like big, gigantic dreams of maybe traveling the world in a sailboat. You know, you might have that dream, but if you don't, it could be just taking a weekend trip to a neighboring town. And sometimes what we find is that when we've experienced a great crisis in our life, like losing someone or something quite devastating that happens to us, then it becomes a little harder to access what it is that we really want in our lives. You know, if something has really fallen apart. Most of you know, I've talked about this before and written about it, that I have this stone on my dresser, and it says, when things fall apart, they're actually falling into place. It's hard to believe that when we're in the middle of a crisis or in the middle of something in our life that's falling apart, but it's really important to be able to pause and restructure our goals, our dreams, our hopes for our lives, and not give up. Don't give up. You can pivot. You can change certain goals that you have, certain dreams, but don't give up. And don't give up on the vision that you hold for yourself, whatever that might look like. And when we get older in life, you know, sometimes we get really depressed and discouraged and extremely frustrated. We may have some health problems, or we may have some economic problems that make us completely fall apart, you know. And I would recommend, I'm looking at Charlotte with the soccer ball. Hey, Charlotte. I would recommend just giving yourself that time. You know, if you have a counselor, a life coach, a therapist, or good friends that you can connect with and talk through, process the feelings that you're having around loss in your life or incredible frustration and chaos, depression, anxieties, whatever it might look like, get the support you need. Get the support you need, whether it's from your community that you already have surrounding you, or maybe you build a new community. You know, I work with women in the Wise Women Warrior Program, and I just love the fact that these women have come together in this group from all over the United States, and they just are so vulnerable, and they're willing to take that risk and open up to each other and get the support they need. Sometimes, you know, sometimes someone might speak up and say, oh, you know, challenge them. Like, is that really a good idea? Is that a safe thing to do? Maybe you should rethink that. It doesn't mean that they aren't supportive. They are, and they're just looking out for each other, as I hope I can do too, in a life coaching kind of way. So, yeah, and most of you know that our retreat project, of course, the Hideaway's right in back of me, not open yet, but you all know that this is a place that I'm very familiar with, you know, dreaming and putting together big plans and dreams and having to just pause, set them aside, and reflect. I am going to write this week about a phrase that I learned recently from probably my favorite YouTube artist. Her name is Jonna Jinton. She is from northern Sweden. If you don't know her, I highly recommend you look up her videos. She's won all sorts of awards for her films. She is an incredible artist and a YouTube video artist, filmmaker. And so one of her last YouTube films that I watched, which was just last week, she used the phrase, and she was, by the way, very frustrated. She was renovating an old house for her studio, taking months and months, and she was absolutely exhausted. Okay, so she spoke at the end of this video, and she said, "I don't chase, I attract. I don't chase, I attract." That is what I want all of you to reflect upon, and I'm hoping to write about it this week too. It is about attracting the positive energy into our plans, into our dreams, not chasing them. I've talked about this many times. Like, have your goals there, plan. I work with clients all the time in creating mind maps and vision boards and plan for the next chapter of your life. But also be willing to just take that pause and listen to what the universe is sending you. All of you probably know, you're probably sick of me talking about how we've lost our funding for this retreat, blah, blah, blah. We're still working on the permit, blah, 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 right? Well, here's a good example. I have been pursuing other avenues for financing and finding a lender that we can keep moving forward once we get that permit, which should be very soon. And again, I had a discouraging phone call last Friday. It wasn't awful, but it did make me pause, because this one particular bank wants like 800 more pieces of paperwork and all sorts of information that I felt like, geez, you know, I thought we already kind of went over this, but it's okay, because I listened. I know that that person is just doing her job. And traditional banks in particular, you know, we all know what's happening in the United States right now. We could be facing a recession any day, right? So traditional lenders in the United States are just really not willing to take too much of a risk. And Kumari of the Woods is a risk, okay? I know it's going to be very successful, and I know from all of your interest, all of your Facebook likes, I really appreciate those, and comments, and all of your encouragement. And even in my Wise Women Facebook private group, many women have given me tons of encouragement. I really appreciate that. But guess what? That's not even good enough for traditional lenders, you know? It is a little bit of a woo-woo project, you know? And I respect that, you know? And instead of chasing, instead of getting upset and discouraged, I just took a deep breath. I'm also working with Raquel Blue, who's shout out. I love Raquel. She's just totally what we need. And she sent Jeremy Wanger to us, who has been phenomenal too. You've probably seen my shout outs to both of them on Facebook and in my YouTube videos. So I really believe Raquel is helping us, and we're getting, in fact, I will tell you, in the middle of that very discouraging bank meeting last Friday, I saw this text roll through on my phone, and I didn't want to read it then because I was focused on this meeting. And sure enough, it was from Raquel. And she had some pretty great news for us. So what can I say? We just have to all plan and dream of what it is that's going to fulfill you. And you might not know what that is right at this moment. But it's really important to find that, because that creates your next chapter. That creates your meaning and purpose in life as you move on. And maybe you haven't experienced a huge loss, but maybe you're just kind of pausing, what exactly am I going to do in this next decade of my life, or this next year of my life? And you might need some support with that. So I love working with my clients. You can always contact me. My wonderful website designer, Jean, has created a new email address for me that I'll also put into this video, Kumari at KumariPatricia.com. So I want to hear from you, comments. If you want to work with me, that's great. If not, you might just have a question. I am happy to answer it. Very happy to answer it. Yeah, and just be bold, dream big, okay? And if it looks like it's too big, you can always pivot, because you're going to not chase, you're going to attract the energy to you that will make things happen in your life. One way or another, they're going to happen. Okay. Well, I hope you like my new glasses, by the way. Here's a great story, too. When I went to the optical place to get my new frames, the woman said to me, "Oh, you can't have those. Those are reading frames." And I'm like, reading frames? Well, yeah, they kind of look like, the kind of glasses you would have reading. And I said, I don't care. I want them for my everyday glasses, So she let me get them. So sometimes we all have to think outside the box, right? Think outside the box. All right, folks. Well, I'll turn my camera here, if you can see. Over there are the delightful siblings, Sam and Charlotte. It's been almost a year that we've had them when they came to us at 8 weeks old. It's been a wonderful experience, and it gets better and better every day. All right. Chase your dreams, contact me, and just have a beautiful day wherever you are.